Arsenal v Everton is set to get underway in less than an hour. Lineup, let's go. Two big changes. David Raya is in goal instead of Aaron Ramsdale, which I think has been, the question, when will Raya get a start? When will Ramsdale be dropped? And I hope this has been one of the more controversial signings of the season, I would say, as it's when will he get his chance and who is going to succeed in this battle? Who will be our number one by the end of the season? Well, we're getting to see Raya for the first time in an Arsenal shirt, so hopefully he performs well. Ramsdale, good competition. Hopefully it fires him up a bit as well. Back four, same as against United. The back four I'll be hoping to see for the majority of the season. Zinchenko, Gabriel, Saliba, White. Nothing really to say there. Fantastic back four, and I think they'll play very well today. Midfield, we have another big change. Rice as a CDM. That's pretty standard, I feel like. Now that will be our main CDM. Odegaard is the right 8, of course, the captain. And then the left 8, we have Fabio Vieira. Kai Havertz has been dropped. I think a lot of fans have been asking for this. I think he's been splitting opinion, obviously, if you saw my last video. I don't know how to feel. I think Havertz will become good for us, but at the same time, I think Fabio Vieira has really been... I think he's earned a first-team appearance, and I think after the international break, similar to Raya, this is a good opportunity to give it when we're just going to be building our flow up again and getting back into a rhythm. And maybe this will be our new starting 11, you never know, depending how they play and if they get to play in the next few games. So yeah, Havertz dropped, Vieira in. I think Vieira will play well. I think this could actually maybe work well for Havertz. Maybe being dropped, it could either really knock his confidence or it could give him an opportunity to come off the bench fresh and then make his moment, which may springboard him into playing really well for us. So, he could come off the bench and get a goal or an assist, similar to how Vieira has been doing this season so far, and that's earned him a start, and maybe Havertz will be coming back to take that position off of him. Our front three is pretty similar. I think we've basically had this all season. Martinelli and Saka, pretty self-explanatory. And Nketiah up front. Presumably Jesus is coming back from injury, or Nketiah has earned the starting position until Jesus proves otherwise. Of course, Jesus scored a goal against Man United, but Nketiah has been very lively when playing. And for example, in the Fulham game when he came on, he basically changed the game despite us not winning overall. Now, my prediction for this game, I will say 3-0 to Arsenal. I have no faith in Everton and all the trust in us. I predicted Everton to go down at the start of the season, I'm pretty sure, or at least be in a relegation battle. And I predicted us to win the league, right? So, of course, this is a must-win game. This should just be simple. There should be no... Well, of course, it's the Premier League. There's always going to be some kind of stress. This is the kind of game where I feel if we're not winning this, then we might as well just kiss the title goodbye. So, yeah, 3-0. Easy, comfortable win. Clean sheet for Raya's debut, or Raya, I'm not sure how you say it. Who's going to be player of the match? For me, I think Vieira. His first start this season is going to prove why he maybe deserves to stay in the team, to the detriment of Havertz, of course. So I'm going to say he gets a goal and an assist and plays a big role in this 3-0 victory that I'm predicting. So I can't watch the full game because I got work, but I will see you at the end of the game and, watch the highlights and shit and tell you what I thought of the game. So... yeah, I'll see you at the end. Arsenal beaten Everton 1-0. It's our first victory at Goodison Park since 2017. And it is a very important one for the season. Now, obviously, I missed the second half, so I've had to just consume content from various sources. Post-match press conference, highlights, and some creators like on the blog and Charles Watch, who I'm sure you're aware of if you're watching this. And I'm going to give you my own personal analysis. So I saw the first about 25-30 minutes of the game. And from what I saw, we were dominant. Obviously, we had the ball. They didn't really have any chances from what I saw. Obviously, Martinelli got the goal. Very nice. And Nketiah knocks it down for Vieira. Vieira finds Martinelli, cuts through between the two centre-backs on the side. And it's just a nice little sprint and a clean, tidy finish from Martinelli before it was being rolled offside for Nketiah. There was much debate about the validity of the offside, but according to the rules of the game, that is how the situation should have been dealt with. I think it's because he wasn't playing the ball intentionally, apparently, but it's like he's tried to intercept the ball, so of course he's trying to influence the play in some way. But I think it's because he didn't have control of the ball when it eventually, flicked over to Nketiah and then he knocked it down. I think that's why the goal has not been given. It doesn't matter, we move, we can't, these situations happen. Martinelli got injured shortly after, I believe a hamstring injury, maybe out for, roughly 1 to 4 weeks, still waiting for more information about that. It was the substitute, in fact, for Martinelli, being Leandro Trossard, who was the one to get us the goal to win the match. And I was at work, I was working in the pub, and there was some people watching it on their phones, so I was kind of going around watching, what's the score, still 0-0, was, just walking past, looking at the phones. And then I saw their goal on replay on like the TV or whatever in the news, and what a finish, I must say. I think it was the corner comes out to Vieira. He looks like he's setting up to shoot. He doesn't in the end up working it back around on the right hand side of the pitch. Ends up getting to Saka. He cuts it back, and Trossard, he kind of like half volleys it with the inside of his foot. It's like almost a cushioned volley with power, and it just goes in off the left post. It was a great finish, I must say. It was a strange but fantastic goal. That's how I would describe it. The main points, really, what I think I stated in the start of the video, was Vieira and Raya. From what I've heard and what I've read and from what I saw, Vieira seemed to be very good in this game. Maybe he'll keep his position in the squad. That link up, that relationship with Martinelli and Vieira, obviously we got a glimpse into that in the documentary a few years back. I can't remember what the hell it was called. I believe that would be key. That could possibly boost Vieira into becoming the left 8, obviously considering that relationship they will develop together. And David Raya. How did David Raya do? From what I saw, he really didn't have to do much in the game, to be honest. But I did see him collect a cross. Obviously, he was apt at it. And he kind of pinged the ball out to Saka on the wing. And that was about all I saw from him personally when I was watching the game. But the way it was quite accurate, and I just thought, I can see where this guy's been brought in, and it could be ropes for Ramsdale, right? Ramsdale's kicking can be good, but it is inconsistent, I'd say. And if Ray can just always pinpoint it like that, we will score a lot of counter-attacking goals, especially with the pace of Saka and Martinelli on the wings. I believe that will be a big factor in why Mikel decided to bring in David Raya to the team. In the post-match conference, obviously he was asked about the addition of the new keeper and how, it's this idea of having 2 first-team quality keepers has never really worked out in the past. He thinks otherwise. He was talking about how, in his short time as a manager, one of his biggest regrets was not being able to change the keeper in the second half of some games, and they ended up leading to draws. Innovation can often lead to development in new areas that no one else has thought of, right? For instance, this kind of inverted left-back role, Zinchenko, for example, you would never have thought of that happening at Arsenal before, and it transformed our season last year. So who's to say this concept of goalkeepers changing the state and flow of games isn't the next step in becoming the best we can be and, challenging for the titles? Mikel is obviously a young manager, as he stated himself, but he's clearly got a good football brain and he's smart about things, right? And he's learned under the best, such as Pep. Put faith in his ideas, and I think it could work out well. Debate whether what he says is actually true, or is it just to keep the players motivated? Because by the end of the season, I think I've said this before, I think we'll probably have a clear number 1 by the end of the season. And maybe we have to take everything Mikel was saying with a pinch of salt, whether he's actually trying to incorporate this kind of concept with keepers as substitutes. Apart from that, Ødegaard seemed to be the main person in the highlights package, taking on some shots with the left, with the right. I'm glad we've started seeing this more in his game. I think at the end of last season we saw it as well, but I feel like one of the criticisms with Ødegaard before was, obviously he's a technical genius, right? The way he sees the passes, the way he picks out players is fantastic, but sometimes he was victim to possibly playing one too many passes or overdoing the pass. And I think this season, and like I said, the end of last season, he's really stepped up as the captain and taken responsibility on his shoulders to start scoring goals himself. And I think that's been a great aspect of his game. Obviously, he didn't get one today, but he was trying to test the keeper. There was one shot, I believe, where he hits it, is parried away, and Vieira gets it, kind of gets stuck under his feet a bit, and he's too slow to react. And it's a fantastic block from Mikalenko sliding in. But sometimes just taking a shot, testing the keeper, you get a lucky deflection, and it's an easy opportunity for someone else to score. Of course, we didn't in this situation. So a 1-0 victory. I believe the scoreline is pretty flattering to Everton. They didn't really get a sniff. We were dominating the ball. And now we look to Wednesday when we've got the Champions League. This will be the first time I have seen the Champions League, ever, when I've really been consistently watching Arsenal. Of course, I've seen games with my dad before, but I've not when I was really in the whole, watching the game, trying to analyse things, and I wasn't really into it like that yet. So This is really exciting for me. This is the first time we've been in the Champions League for years. It's a shame Martinelli won't get to play, but you know, so many of these players. I think only Partey, Jorginho, Havertz, Jesus, and Zinchenko would have played in the Champions League. So that's only like 5 people, and quite a few of those aren't even in our starting 11. So this is a great opportunity to get some experience, and you know, with the music and everything, it's going to be great. I think we're playing PSV. I'll finish work in time to watch the game, so it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. I'll see you in that video, and thanks for watching. See you in the Champions League.